So I used my skills as a physician and a scientist to find anything I could in the scientific literature, not in anything esoteric, in the scientific literature, that would help me strengthen my body's ability to resist cancer. And this is the scientific story I want to tell you tonight. The first thing I learned was at first depressing, but in the end very encouraging. I learned that we all have cancer cells in our bodies. This is a natural part of what biology does. It manufactures cancer cells. You can't do anything about that. We also all are exposed to cancer-promoting agents, carcinogens. They're part of gas exhaust on the street. You can't avoid that either. Now, the interesting fact is that only 1 in 4, and I don't know if only is the right word, but 1 in 4 of us will develop cancer in our lifetime. But that means that for people, even though 100% of us carry cancer cells and are exposed to carcinogens, 3 out of 4 of us are able to resist that process. So by definition, we have to conclude that for most of us, our bodies have natural defense mechanisms that can identify and destroy cancer cells so that it never becomes an active disease.
We are constantly getting rid of micro diseases and cancer every single day. Each one of us has 750,000 cancer cells in us, and our immune system is either going after it or it's not, and there becomes an imbalance in the system. But we're all fighting some kind of micro diseases and cancers every single day of our life.
We get cancer cells occurring, cancers, precancers, weird, not abnormal cells. We get them to occur in our bodies, and the immune system is catching them, it's killing them, just like it's catching and killing bacteria and yeast, and we're exposed to a lot of bacteria and viruses and so on that a good immune system can eliminate.
First of all, these natural defenses are not pie in the sky. They're very real. This is human blood with cancer cells and white blood cells from the immune system. All of us have cancer cells. All of us have white blood cells that can identify and destroy them if we don't interfere with the ability of our natural defenses to do their job. See, here's another one that's going to get gobbled up, and here's another one. This is part of every one of us. We just need to learn how to help our defenses.
The biggest cause of cancer is not radiation, chemicals in the water, or pollutants in the air, but a weakened immune system that cannot recognize and kill cancer cells.
So cancer, first and foremost, is a problem with the immune system. You cannot have cancer if you have an intact immune system. If you have cancer, you don't have an intact immune system. If people say, oh no, my immune system is fine, then you can't have cancer. You can't have two. Okay, those two things can't live together. If it's an immune system that's compromised, you can have cancer. If you have a cancer, you have to, by definition, have a compromised immune system.
With all our patients, whether it's cancer or any kind of chronic disease, it's always about lowering inflammation and improving and increasing immune system response. Because your immune system has to fight, fix, and repair against anything, right? So it's not just suppression, it's about strengthening. But the nice thing about the natural therapies is it turns on and off genes accordingly. So it's not just turning off genes always. It's also up-regulation and down-regulation. So curcumin, I mentioned, I showed you that slide today, and it shows certain genes are now turned on that our body already has this natural mechanism of fighting cancer, for example. And we want to keep stimulating that. What happens is as we get older, through other things of environment, lifestyle, stress, diet, those genes and those transcription factors and those proteins turn off. So we all are born with it. We just want to keep stimulating it, right? And the nice thing is that these natural therapies can, turn on the things that we want to turn on and turn off the things we want to turn off.
The immune system is powerful. It's the first line of defense that we have against bacteria, viruses, pathogens, and cancer cells. And what a lot of people don't realize is that the immune system is powerful. It has over hundreds of functions in the body, and there are billions of immune cells at your disposal every day. And when I think of our immune system, I think of a Star Wars galactic battle going on, because the immune system really does some incredible things. One of the immune cells will shoot out specific particles that will blast open a virus in a cancer cell. Other immune cells will secrete specific chemical poisons to cause those pathogens to die. Other immune cells will send out these long, sticky, gooey pods and engulf the pathogen in the cancer cell and recycle it and use its body parts. So the immune system is very powerful. And the important thing to know about your immune system is that 80% of your immune system is in the mucosal lining of your intestinal tract. So if you don't have a healthy intestinal tract, if you're feeding your body a lot of junk, the typical SAD food, SAD food, standard American diet food, your immune system is going to be compromised.
Your immune system is the world's greatest pharmacy. It makes more than 100 billion types of medicine, called antibodies, that attack unwanted germs, viruses, or unhealthy cells that enter your body. The natural remedies produced by your own immune system provide the most effective healing agents on Earth. And there are no harmful side effects. All your immune system needs is the right raw materials.
The body has what Dr. Gerson called a natural healing mechanism. If it didn't, every time you cut yourself, you would have an infection and die. Every time a woman in the kitchen burns herself, she would get an infection because the skin is broken and die. If you ever have, like a kid is active and falls and breaks a bone, and that kid would never have perfect normal function again. Okay, in other words, the body is normally organized in order to heal. Yes, the body has a built-in natural healing mechanism. And Dr. Gerson was definitely of the opinion that only thing you have to do is restore and rebuild the body's healing mechanism. Actually, when the defenses are in order, your immune system, your enzyme system, your hormone system, your essential organs like the liver and the lungs and the brain and the heart, if those organs are in order, cancer is impossible. You cannot have cancer. The body has too many powerful defenses, so that cancer is, first of all, completely avoidable. And secondly, even in advanced situations, totally curable by restoring the body's ability to reactivate this healing mechanism.
I love that quote. Any good health measure is an anti-cancer measure. And if you have a fully functioning immune system, you cannot have cancer.
No doctor has ever healed anyone of anything in the history of the world. The human immune system heals. And that's the only thing that heals. True, doctors sometimes can alleviate symptoms enough so the body can go back and heal itself. Thus the doctor gets the credit for the healing. Okay, I'm all right with that. But we need to stop dealing with symptoms and start dealing with causation.
Now close your blinds, turn down the volume, and make sure no one else is watching, because I'm about to let you in on a dirty little secret. Ready? We already have a cure for cancer. It's called the immune system. Your immune system not only protects you against colds and flus, but it's been protecting humans from cancer since the very beginning. It's the only cure for cancer we have. Always has been and always will be.
Bob Wright just said something very interesting. Doctors don't heal. The immune system heals.
Don't look to the cancer industry for a cure. The cure for cancer is right inside you. And the only way to win your personal war on cancer is to strengthen your immune system by changing your diet.
Can the mind really heal the body? And if so, is there any scientific evidence to convince skeptical physicians like me? These are the questions that fueled the last few years of my research. And what I discovered is that the scientific community, the medical establishment, has been proving for over 50 years that the mind can heal the body. We call it the placebo effect. But I actually think this is really good news. The placebo effect is excellent news because it's concrete evidence that the body holds within it innate self-repair mechanisms that can make unthinkable things happen to the body. So if you find this surprising, if you have a hard time believing that the body can heal itself, you need look no further than the Spontaneous Remission Project, a database compiled by the Institute of Noetic Sciences of over 3,500 case studies in the medical literature of patients who have gotten better from seemingly incurable illnesses. You think there's such a thing as an incurable illness? I swear, if you go look at this database, it'll blow your mind. Everything's in there. Stage 4 cancers that disappeared without treatment. HIV-positive patients that became HIV negative. Heart disease, kidney failure, diabetes, high blood pressure, thyroid disease, autoimmune diseases, gone. So the scientific literature, the medical journals like the New England Journal of Medicine and the Journal of the American Medical Association, these scientific journals are full of evidence that the placebo effect and the nocebo effect are incredibly powerful. We've known this since the 1950s, and we've seen countless case studies that show that in almost everything you study, if you give people a fake treatment, a sugar pill, a saline injection, or most effectively a fake surgery, 18 to 80% of the time, people get better. And it's not just in their mind. That's what I thought in the beginning, like, oh, they're just feeling better, they're thinking better. But it's not. It's actually in their physiology. This is measurable. You can actually see what happens to the body. So, for example, patients getting placebos were found to have ulcers that healed, colons that became less inflamed, bronchi that dilated, warts that disappeared. Cells looked different under the microscope. It's provable. It's happening in the body, even though it's initiated by the mind. So when you look at these, some of the studies are just amazing. I love the Rogaine study. So, you get a bunch of bald men, you give them placebos, they grow hair. The opposite is also true. So if you give people a placebo and you tell them it's chemotherapy, they vomit and they lose their hair. So this is really happening in the body.